Hey all, Controversy 2K here. Sonic CD is the next classic Sonic game I'm taking a look at. Sonic CD is a game I don't particularly have strong nostalgia for, because as a kid, I didn't own the Sonic Gems collection. So I had no way to properly play Sonic CD until after I had tried nearly every other Sonic game I could get my grubby little hands on at that point. But once I did, I was in for a surprise. I was expecting another classic Sonic style game, like all the others, and to the game's credit, it is still that. Kinda. However, there's some key differences between Sonic CD and 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, etc. For example, Metal Sonic, Amy, Time Travel, what the fuck? I'm all up for that, I love Back to the Future, let's go! My first experience with this game was the Steam release of the Christian Whitehead version, which is such a good port, it's honestly unbelievable. Better cutscenes, sound, the ability to choose between the right soundtrack or the funky one, they're both pretty good. For the sake of this review, I'll take a look at the Sonic Origins version, as that one actually has a couple new cutscenes, as well as less bugs thanks to the Ultrafix mod patch. With that nerdy stuff out of the way, let's toot Sonic Warriors our way into this. Sonic CD has a banger of an introductory level. I genuinely love the setting, the music, the whole vibe in general here is fantastic and perfectly suited for the game. Aesthetic aside even, the level design in Sonic CD is a bit different than your standard 2D Sonic game. Level traversion is much more vertical, as well as there's a lot more areas to explore, and that's for a good reason. See, around the level are scattered these time warp signs. They can either say future or past, and that's where they'll time travel Sonic to. But it isn't as simple as, jumping into it like a hoop or something like the Sonic 2 special stages. No, my speedy blue baby. You've gotta go F-A-S-T, fast. Build up that speed, hope and pray you've got enough level terrain and no enemies in front of you, and bam! Just like when Marty hits 88, you'll go into a sequence and you are thrown to a completely different version of the level. If you went to the past, the level and the music changed to more old-looking ruins, jungles, etc, etc. Likewise, if you went to the future, you generally get a metallic and scary-looking hell version of the level. Neat. With that out of the way, there are new things Sonic can do as well. For example, he can spin dash. He could also do that in Sonic 2, but he can also do the Super Peel-Out, which, if there are no enemies or obstacles in the way, can be a great way to build up speed for time traveling. It also looks fucking awesome. However, Sonic is vulnerable, so the spin dash might be your better option. New powers aside, let's talk about the level design. Oh, Sonic Team. Now, is the level design in Sonic CD good? Well, I'd say it depends. How are you planning on playing the game? If you want to get the good ending of the game, yes, there are different endings. Via time traveling, the level design ranges from pretty good to kind of aggravating. Let me explain. If you want to do it this way, you need to go back to the past and break every robot generator so you ensure a good future. If you don't, Act 3 will usually look kind of fucked up, meaning you got a bad future. This means all those future signs that are easier to get than the past signs generally will be a major pain in your ass. You need to get good at managing your speed so as not to go fast enough to initiate a time travel sequence if you are going to the future. I will say it is very rewarding to finally find a pass sign and get a good little bit of level layout to achieve speed, but fully playing the game this way would be a major pain and I would not recommend it. However, you do not in fact have to do it in the ass. The other way to get the good ending is collecting all 7 Time Stones, or this game's version of Chaos Emeralds. There is no Easter Bunny, there is no God, and there is no Supersonic! But there are these 3D special stages that I actually kind of like more than the half-pipe ones from Sonic 2. That might be a hot take, but I'm not sure. Anyway, these stages require you to destroy all these floating UFOs or something and avoid touching the watery bits at the bottom. It's kind of trippy. Just like Sonic 1, Getting to the goal with 50 rings and jumping into the big ring at the end will allow you to travel to the special stage. Completing all 7 and getting all of the time stones means Sonic ensures a good future and good ending after that point. And it's in my opinion that this is just way fucking easier than destroying all of the robot generators. That shit is for masochists. No. So by either not giving a damn, or by getting the stones, you will have a pretty good time with most, if not all of the levels in Sonic CD to a point. I think most of them are fun, and more vertical than Sonic 1's, and I can really appreciate that. The level design is only ever really a problem if you're dead set on getting the good ending the hard way. Okay, horrifically long bullshit time travel ramble aside, let's get back and check out the game level by level. Like I said earlier, Palm Tree Panic is a fantastic introductory level. It follows the general trend of first Sonic levels being easy and green. It gives you plenty of room to play around with the time travel mechanics and Sonic's new moves. The boss at the end of Act 3 is kinda lame, I can't lie to you, but at least they tried something new, I guess? I get that first bosses are supposed to be kind of easy, but this is kind of ridiculous. And that theme? Who thought this needed to be that fucking creepy? Listen to this. Collision Chaos is a little more— hey, what the hell, dude? He kidnapped that girl, you motherfucker! Anyways, Collision Chaos is a little more bumpy than Palm Tree Panic in the sense that it's loaded with tons of springs and bumpers all over the place. Now, can this be the tiniest bit frustrating? Yes, but it gets worse later, so let's move on from that for now. The level is still fun to explore, and you can still get to the goal with 50 rings in hand for a special stage if you're slightly careful. The boss stage essentially has you breaking these metallic barriers as you progress through a shorter than average level, and you end by playing a little pinball game, one slightly more frustrating than Sonic Spinball. Star, how could you see that? Because I've played Sonic Spinball. Okay, next up we have— oh my god, it's a fucking water level! Oh, wait, sorry, Tidal Tempest isn't that bad. Actually, I'd even go as far to say that it's fun. I also think that the level music is seriously amazing here, and it'd be nothing out of place in something like an Apollo Justice sequence. Don't ask me to elaborate on that, just think about it. Quartz Quadrant, you guessed it, is a quadrant that is chock full of quartz. I thought it was kinda lame until I got to the past Quartz Quadrant, which is bright green and lush. I also really like the music here much more. Solid vertical and horizontal level design, and a really fun time to just play through. I thought the boss concept here was really interesting too, being different without being tedious or outright unfun. The next zone is Wacky Workbench. Wacky Workbench was designed by a fucking Looney Tunes character. Maybe Daffy, maybe Bugs, I don't know. But one of them fuckers is responsible for this goofy-ass level. For the uninitiated, this level can understandably be very frustrating, as there are many points where you have to platform carefully to avoid being launched upward to Hell World. Now, I don't mind this level nearly as much as I did when I played it, maybe a decade ago. Maybe it's because I've played it several times since, maybe I like the abuse, I don't know. The boss at the end of Act 3 is just alright, and funny enough, nothing you find out of place in a damn Mario game. Shout out to Stardust Speedway for having my favorite track in the game, and I mean that for every version, including the boss theme. Also, the level design is so fun to just roll around in, with plenty of branching paths to explore and things to bounce off of. It's one of the more fluid levels in the game, and it's definitely one of my favorites while revisiting classic Sonic games. Now let's get to that boss fight. This time you're against Metal Sonic, where you race him to the end to avoid being killed by Robotnik's Death Laser. Fucking sick. Also, the drop dash added in the Origins version of CD is a huge benefit to the gameplay of this boss fight, making it much more fun. And listen to this track. Anywho, I guess you get to rescue Amy now. Yay! The last zone is Metallic Madness, and save for a couple small things like the slow-moving spike platform seen in Act 2, this zone fucking slaps. I love the music, the enemies are unique, and there aren't nearly as many cheap deaths as the other last zones in Sonic games. I also love the ending credits sequence here. The animation in this game has been cleaned up very well in this port. Now in the past, there were a great deal of Sonic fans who saw Sonic CD as sort of this black sheep of the classic Sonic games, just a little too weird or different from the others. And admittedly, I used to be in this camp too. When I first played it, I didn't particularly like the change in level design philosophy, the special stages, and I thought the time travel was cool but unnecessary. And I just didn't like it as much as Sonic 1, 2, or 3. However, in recent years I've seen sort of a shift. I've seen a lot more love for Sonic CD in the fandom, and it's been great. It has been years since I've played this game all the way through, and I don't think I've fully embraced it until this playthrough. Is it different? Yes. Is it also a great classic Sonic experience? I think so. This is the case for a lot of other Sonic games too, especially the 3D ones. We'll get to those later. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and please keep an eye out for more reviews and live streams in the future. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.
In the end, who's on your side? Who can you trust? You're in the middle of the night. Where will you be? If you can't find you, there's no place to go. Nothing to do if you gotta do something.